Ever feel like life's just too chaotic? Discover how the Sukha Company is changing the game to help you find peace and happiness. Don't scroll past this. You won't want to miss it. I was blown away when I met Stephen Puri. With an impressive background, having raised $21 million in venture capital for 3 tech startups, and even working at big studios like DreamWorks and 20th Century Fox, Stephen has seen how different work environments really operate. Now, in a world where remote and hybrid work are becoming the norm, Stephen is tackling the challenges we all face. What I found fascinating is how Stephen is focused on creating not just better productivity, but a healthier work lifestyle for remote workers. Curious to learn how Stephen is solving this big problem? Stay tuned. So let's dive deeper into how the Sukha Company is changing the game for remote work. What if you could be more productive, feel supported, and even enjoy your work environment? Stick around because Stephen will share some exciting insights that could transform your work life. The Sukha Company is making remote work better for everyone. They combine focus tools like music, timers, and a supportive community, helping people overcome distractions while working from home. Founder Stephen Puri discovered that personal connections drive growth, relying on word of mouth and creating shareable experiences. Plus, they listen to users for feedback to shape new features. Want to thrive like the Sukha Company? Focus on understanding your community and stay adaptable. Welcome to the Founder Show, the ultimate podcast for startups and visionaries. Today, we're excited to have Stephen Puri, the founder of the Sukha Company, with us. At the Founder Show, we share amazing stories and help you connect, inspire, and grow. Whether you're just starting or looking to scale up, we've got you covered. Let's get started. Hi, Stephen. This is Vats from the Founder Show. Thanks for joining this podcast, and I'm so glad to have you here with me. How are you doing today?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm doing great, Stephen. Thanks for asking. Let's dive right in. Tell me about your startup. What's the name, the idea behind it, and the big problem you're solving?
So our company is called the Sukha Company, and it is a focus tool for people who work from home. And obviously, there's been a huge movement towards remote and hybrid work. And this is a bundle of all the best tools to help you be productive at home. Music, timers, distraction blocking, a warm community of other focused people.
That sounds fantastic, Stephen. With remote work booming, it's such a relevant solution. What inspired you to create the Sukha Company? Was it a personal experience or something you noticed in the market?
Created this really because there are massive distractions between social media and, a variety of things coming at you. And it's something that my co-founder and I personally struggled with. We work from home and we love the fact that there's no commute time, that, you have a lot of flexibility, but it also meant a lot of distractions. So we wanted to solve that for ourselves to figure out how could we do 8 or 10 hours of work in 5 hours. And that's why we created this.
That's such a relatable challenge, Stephen. I love how you turned a personal struggle into a solution. When you started building the Sukha Company, what was the first big milestone that made you feel like you were onto something?
We structured it so that it is a community of people who are focused and they support each other. So while you're working and when you're on, healthy breaks, we encourage you to take breaks and do, Pomodoros. But when you're working, you have the ability to see other people who are working around the world and feel that you're part of something, have a chat, like a group chat, if you want to ask for help or, talk to other people who are also interested in productivity. And one of the things that I really loved, one of the earliest moments was in the group chat one day, a member who's in the Midwest, he had posted that he had finished his dissertation. And all of these people around the world that I know don't know him personally, but know him through Sukha, they post their congratulations saying, hey, we've been watching you in here. You're working on that for months and congratulations on finishing your dissertation. And it was a wonderful feeling of like a group of people who want to be focused, who want to do something with their lives, seeing each other and supporting each other and celebrating each other. And I love that.
That's such a powerful moment, Stephen. It's amazing how you've built not just a tool, but a supportive community that celebrates each other's wins. How did you go about fostering this sense of connection and camaraderie among users? Was it intentional from the start?
It sort of grew organically because originally we had a focus tool that had, these key features, the focused music, the AI coaches, the timers, the task list, the healthy breaks. And the thing that really grew organically out of that was a sense of like, oh, we have hundreds of people in here who don't realize that there's anyone else like them. How do we connect them? And that sense of giving a community around a set of focus tools, that I think was a really big breakthrough for us. And, ultimately leads, I think, a lot of people to happiness. Sukha, as you know, means like a self-fulfilled kind of happiness. And that's why we named the company the Sukha Company, as opposed to like, focus tool number 14, focus mate, focus this, focus that. We were like, ultimately, what we want you to do is you are being productive and focused allows you to get done with your work better, faster, and feel happy. And that's really the goal. It's not the work. It's how you feel at the end.
That's such a beautiful philosophy, Stephen. I love how the name ties into the deeper purpose of your company, helping people find fulfillment and happiness through focus. How has the community aspect influenced the evolution of your product? Have user interactions or feedback shaped any key features?
Yes, actually, we have a pretty active community. And, in most of these communities, there's a fraction of the larger community that's very vocal. So the fraction that's very vocal has told us about what kind of music they want. We launched a lo-fi playlist because a lot of people said we may have, hundreds of hours of different original music in there, but they said we really love lo-fi beats. So we launched 4 lo-fi channels in the app, and that's been super fun, as well as fine-tuning how people interact and adding, for example, a leaderboard so that people can see like each day how healthy and productive they were relative to other people. It's sort of like a work wellness kind of score. And it's been great getting feedback from people who are passionate about the same things that we are.
That's incredible, Stephen. It's clear your community plays a huge role in shaping the product. The Lofty channels and leaderboard sound like fantastic additions. How do you balance adding features like these while staying true to your core mission of focus and happiness?
That is such a good question. It is a continual challenge to figure out which features will be additive and bond people together, help them get into focus, help them really get into a flow state, and which features will be distracting. And we've made some mistakes along the way, probably having, too many bells and whistles or too few. And it's really about just getting user feedback. You hear very vocally when people are like, I love this thing. And you also hear when people are like, this annoys me. Can we get rid of this? So for example, we have AI coaches that greet you when you are working, nudge you when you open your phone and you're supposed to be working. They talk to you about what you could do better. And some people love them, some people don't. So we just added the ability to mute your coach. So if you're one of those people who doesn't need a voice talking to you, it's gone. So we have a lot of like that sort of back and forth.
That's such a thoughtful approach, Stephen. It's great that you're so responsive to user feedback and willing to adapt. The ability to mute the AI coach is a smart move. It shows you're really listening. Speaking of challenges, what's been the toughest obstacle you faced while building the Sukha company, and how did you overcome it?
Well, the toughest obstacle that we've faced is one we still face, which is we have tried different ways to get the word out about what we're doing. And there are other companies that are very well funded, that are, very well known, and they spend a lot of money on social media advertising, search advertising, things like that. We don't have those resources. So we really have to be scrappy. And we've found that the number one way that new members come to our platform is because they hear about it from someone who uses it. Very organic, very viral, word of mouth, whatever, term you want to use. But we found that that's the strongest recommendation is when someone says, oh, hey, I use this, if you want to feel more focused or if you want to finish your work early in the day, try it. So that's been great because the cost there is very low in terms of acquiring a new member. But, it's something where we're not at 1 billion members yet. So hopefully that continues to drive us forward.
That's such a relatable challenge, Stephen, especially for startups competing with well-funded giants. It's impressive how you've leaned into organic growth and word of mouth. It's a testament to the value your product delivers. Have you explored any creative or unconventional strategies to amplify this organic growth?
We're right now talking to some of our members who have, voices in their communities, whether they are coaches, productivity or mindfulness coaches, whether they have podcasts, whether they're, YouTubers who talk about productivity and focus and mindfulness. So that's probably the most interesting thing right now is finding people who are value aligned with us and saying, how can we work together? That's what we're super into right now.
That's a brilliant strategy, Stephen. Partnering with value aligned creators and coaches can really amplify your reach while staying authentic. How do you approach these collaborations? Do you offer them incentives, or is it more about shared values and mutual benefits?
It varies. Some creators, like for example, there were a couple engineers who found us and just tweeted about us before we actually even spoke to them much. And we saw the tweet, we reached out, we're like, oh, thank you so much. And the tweets are all very similar. They're like, I was struggling with this. I found this platform. I use it. If you struggle with, focus and wanting to get your work done earlier, try it. And because it's that personal recommendation, it's very powerful. So those were super organic, and we didn't really know who these people were until they tweeted, and then we reached out and said, hey, can we meet you? There are other relationships we have, which are much more, partnerships, joint ventures, things like that with, people in the space who, have businesses set up around this. The most popular in our membership, the most popular cohorts are people who obviously do knowledge work at home, like engineers, like designers, like writers, accountants, attorneys. So generally they have communities, and when they like something, they share it with their friends. That's been really our biggest growth driver.
That's fantastic, Stephen. It's amazing how organic recommendations from passionate users have driven your growth. Those personal endorsements are so authentic and impactful. With such a strong foundation in community and partnerships, where do you see the Sukha Company heading in the next few years? Any big goals or visions you're excited about?
Yeah, what we're really building, Michael and I, is we want to offer people the office for the remote generation. We want to have a beautiful set of tools and a community of supportive people that every day, no matter where you are in the world, maybe you're working from home this month, maybe you are traveling next week and you're somewhere else, you can log in your computer and as you work, be there and see me and see, people and talk to them and have the support of your community, as well as getting all these beautiful focus tools, the music, the coaches, the timers, the task list that you use to become productive. So really that's our goal, is to say, how can we offer people the most beautiful online office, like all these focus tools that allow you to work, and it becomes the office for the remote generation.
That's such an inspiring vision, Stephen. Creating a virtual office that's both functional and community driven is so relevant for today's remote workforce. As you work toward this goal, what's one piece of advice you'd give to other founders navigating similar challenges in building a product and community?
Oh, I'll tell you, I have had 3 startups. One was a successful exit and we were acquired. 2 were failures, largely, my fault from having to learn. And the biggest thing that I learned is the obvious thing that everyone tells you to start, which is really understand your customer problem. And it's great if you are also the customer. If you feel that problem organically, you can understand how your solution fits it.
That's such valuable advice. Stephen, truly understanding the customer problem and being connected to it yourself makes all the difference. Before we wrap up, is there anything exciting coming up for the Sukha Company that you'd like to share with our listeners?
Yes, we're actually launching a couple new features that we are excited about. One is in your Chrome browser, you can have an extension for free that creates your new tab when you open a new tab, and it shows you your dashboard, which is an inspiring quote for the day, a beautiful nature background. You can see which of your friends is in Sukha right now, we call it the coffee shop. You have your task list handy so you can quickly jot things down and add things or mark things as completed. It shows, the weather in your city and the time, and there's a button to start your session. So that's something we'll be launching very soon. I was actually just trying that in beta this morning. And we're also launching a Slack bot where when you are in a session and you're focused, it will mark your Slack identity as in a focus session so that people who are Slacking you know that you're not going to get back to them immediately. It allows them to see, okay, he's doing deep work or she's doing deep work. I'll hear from them later. So there's just some fun things that we're launching. And again, we just offer them for free.
Those features sound amazing, Stephen. The Chrome extension and Slackbot are such thoughtful additions to enhance focus and productivity. I'm sure your users will love them. Thank you so much for sharing your journey and insights today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Wishing you and the Sukha Company continued success.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thanks, Stephen. You have a great day too. Thanks for tuning into the Founders Show. If you loved this episode, please like and subscribe so you never miss an update. And hey, if you're a startup founder and want to share your story with us, visit founder.show to sign up. We'd love to feature you on our podcast. Catch you next time.